I was blessed with loving parents and a wonderful childhood. I knew that as a kid, but appreciate it even more as an adult, having learned over time that many of my friends weren't as lucky. My father traveled Monday through Friday as part of a four-man crew that audited merchandise at A&P stores throughout Ohio. When people would ask Pop what he did for a living, he'd say, "I count cans." He'd leave Sunday evening, and we wouldn't see him again until Friday night. Mom took good care of my sister Pat and me during the week, but life was not complete at 1119 St. John Street until Pop was back. During the holidays, when he got home only a day or two before Christmas, I was more than a little anxious to head downtown, just the two of us, for our annual shopping adventure. Downtown Toledo was like most downtowns. It was the hub of everything back in the 1950s. We didn't have a Macy's, but we did have LaSalle's, and at Christmas time, it looked just like a scene out of Miracle on 34th Street. The main floor was ultimately our destination. That was where the jewelry and cosmetic counters were. But first, Pop and I had to go through our ritual. Our first stop was B.R. Baker's, a huge men's shoe and apparel store at the corner of Adams and St. Clair. They had an X-ray machine with footholes that measured width and size and showed the bones in your feet on a green screen, which was the only reason we went in, just so I could see the skeleton of my pedal extremities. Anyway, Pop and I would wander up and down Adams Street, window shopping as a light snow would begin to fall, making the night that much more memorable. That may have only happened once or twice, but I prefer to believe it snowed every year just for us.
Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Eventually, we'd make our way back to LaSalle's at Adams and Huron. But before we could go in and actually buy something, we had to stop at Morrow's Nut House right next door. Morrow's was known for their fresh, hot-roasted nuts, cashews, almonds, peanuts in the shell, and other varieties. They'd prop the glass front door open year-round to lure customers in with an aroma I'll never forget.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
For Pop and me, it was always a bag of Redskins, a little bigger than a peanut and hot to the touch as we shared handfuls from a plain white bag. Now the shopping could begin. Maybe some earrings or a tube of red lipstick. One Christmas I was sick and Pop had to go downtown alone. I know he was disappointed, but I was heartbroken and depressed over missing one of the most important events of the year. Mom and Dad left the Christmas lights on all night on Christmas Eve because they knew I always snuck down after everyone else was asleep to sit by myself, peacefully and thankfully staring at our tree and the presents underneath, of course. The year I was sick was no different. Down I crept. I could see the glow of the lights as I neared the bottom step, but this time I smelled something too, something familiar and comforting. I got down on my stomach in front of the tree, elbows on the floor with my hands under my chin, and stared at a plain white bag just sitting there. Pop had not forgotten me. That was many, many years ago, and I have not forgotten him either.